Welcome to Singapore. With its vibrant mix of old and new, this city still holds dear the Raffles Hotel, which sits alongside a very modern skyline. From here, Sir Stamford Raffles' vision of the city took shape. Singapore is now home to a variety of cultures and customs, Chinese, Malayan, and Indian, among others. This far eastern city will be home for the next week to the 40th edition of the AMF World Cup. Hi, I'm Mike Carlson, and here at Saffron, Mount Faber is the Super Bowl, a 34-lane complex that will host 95 countries in what is now one of the biggest annual sporting events in the calendar. 2 players, male and female, from each country will take part. The ultimate goal to lift either the men or women's World Cup. Every year the event gets bigger and bigger. New entries in 2004 include Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Nigeria, standing alongside the established nations in the world of 10-pin, all here in the spirit of competition, all hoping to claim 10-pin's greatest prize. There have been 5 days of qualifying, each player rolling 32 games, the total pinfall determining the top 8 men and women. The women's division is dominated by the big names, the defending champion Kerrie Ryan-Ciach, along with the women she beat in 2003, Shannon Pluhowsky. But in the first quarter-final, Australia's Anne-Marie Putney went out to Puerto Rico's Yosellin Leon by 2-1. And we can now join the closing stages of the second women's quarter-final. Lisa Del Rosario of the Philippines against Swedish bowler Helen Johnsson. Johnsson has just completed her second game with a score of 189. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
She knew that it was always going to be difficult against Del Rosario, but to come out and bowl as she did, well, that was just too tough an ask in the end. And a wry smile from coach Magnus Jonsson. He's seen it all before. 189, the finishing score for Helen Johnsson in this second game, and a slightly frustrating quarter-final for her. But for Lisa Del Rosario, it's been a superb performance from start to finish. This really the icing on the cake.
Well, the thing is, Simon, it'll be sending out some warning signals to other competitors in the quarterfinals. She takes one more strike in the 10th frame. It's almost rubbing salt into the wound. It takes her through the 200 barrier.
And Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA or Laura Rhoney of Scotland will have to play against Lisa Del Rosario in the semi-final. Now, they both have to concentrate on their quarter-final match first of all, but they'll have one eye on this match as well. And I'm not sure either of them will relish the challenge of playing against this young woman.
Lisa just wiping the lane conditioner off of her ball. Ball that picks up the lane oil as it travels down. Bonus time in frame 10. And if she makes it, this will be the 17th strike that she's bowled in 2 games, and they are big numbers.
Well, it's an awesome haul, and everybody on these lanes understands what a good performance it's been from Del Rosario.
Another great strike, 278 in the first game, potentially 244 in the second game. Devastating bowling of the highest caliber.
Well, I've seen Del Rosario bowl a few times now, and the thing that always impresses me is it doesn't matter what stage of the match we're at, doesn't matter what is going on, the preparation for each delivery remains exactly the same, and that for me, Cass, is a sign of a very professional bowler.
It's certainly something that younger bowlers looking in could pick up on and try and emulate. 8 pins on the last shot and a score of 232.
Good response from the crowd, and sporting applause for the Swedish bowler, but Lisa Del Rosario wraps this match up in emphatic style. She takes it by 2-0 from Helen Johnsson.
More quarterfinal action next on FSN. Welcome back to Singapore for the AMF World Cup here on FSN. Coming up, the third quarterfinal in the women's division. Already through Yosellin Leon of Puerto Rico and Lisa Del Rosario of the Philippines. Next in action, Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA. She faces Rhoney of Scotland. Pluhowsky, the 2002 champion and last year's runner-up, a game ahead in this best-of-3 match. And commentary from Simon Golding and Cass Edwards.
Hits the pocket and leaves a 7-pin standing. Again, should be a straightforward spare. And if she doesn't do anything wrong, this game's going to be tied up and finished.
So Pluhowsky just putting the finishing touches to a pretty solid performance. There's still a fair way to go in this game. But barring complete disaster, Rhoney, I'm afraid, is just going to be playing for pride from here on in. Oh, that's nice. That's given the crowd something to get their teeth into.
Well, it's the 4th strike that Lorna's thrown in this game out of the 8 frames, so it's a 50% hit strike rate, which unfortunately on these high-scoring conditions is not good enough. And she's been given a bit of a lesson by Shannon Pluhowsky, who will move on to the semi-finals. Foundation frame for Laura, frame 9. Out the pocket, 3-10 spare. That's a baby split. Now she can take this one of 2 ways. She can either put the ball between the 2 pins or to the left-hand side of the 3-pin and chip it across. Not a good shot. I think she acknowledged that with a shake of the head. Resigned to the fact that she'll be taking the next plane home. That's another open frame.
Well, disappointment. Any good work that Rhoney has done with the strikes, I'm afraid, has been undone with open frames. She'll be delighted at getting to this stage. She'll be disappointed not to move on further. But that's not the only thing that this AMF World Cup is all about, is it, Cass? This is a tremendous social gathering as well, from bowlers across the world.
I believe 95 or 96 countries are represented in Singapore this year. Great camaraderie amongst all 10-pin bowlers worldwide. It's almost an international language, really. And friends are made and retained.
So Pluhowsky will be learning a few additional things about the lane now. That's the way she approaches her bowling. This match for her is not over. This is about just taking a few opportunities to get to learn these conditions even further.
Simon, you're quite right. Yes, the match is won. The coach is very happy. She's almost breaking into a smile herself there.
Steady, Shannon.
But as you say, she's going to take the opportunity of this extra bonus ball. Maybe just to experiment a little bit.
Well, she went a lot wider. There was the experiment. It won't be one she'll be looking to repeat, but that it's precisely the reason that she went wide, was just to try and find out what the condition was like out there.
Yeah, it's if she can play out there and get a good reaction, she may well be out there for the semi-final game. Depends on how the lane condition plays. And so she was just having a look, which is, as I say, quite a professional way of going about the game. Doesn't matter if she doesn't spare this, and she hasn't. 231 is a winning score. Great game.
Well, good work from Shannon Pluhowsky. She knows that the job is done. 231. And still not satisfied. And I guess that's the way you improve at sport. If you ever think you've done it, then you can't progress. And I'm afraid Rhoney will not be progressing from the quarterfinals. But a chance for her to bow out in style. The crowd have certainly been on her side during the entirety of this match. She'll be disappointed she hasn't given them more to cheer about.
Yeah, she really hasn't put Shannon under any pressure at all. It's just unfortunate that Laura didn't bring her A game to the bowling centre today.
So this will be the closing action for Rhoney at the 2004 AMF 10-pin World Cup. Top 8 in the world, though. It's not a bad prize to take away from this tournament. And I guess some days it's just not your day, and Shannon Pluhowsky, quick congratulations to Laura Rhoney for her efforts, but well done to Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA. 2-0 over Laura Rhoney of Scotland. She goes on to the semi-final against Lisa Del Rosario.
Defending champ Kerrie Ryan-Ciach next on Welcome back to Singapore and the AMF World Cup here on FSN. 3 women are already through to the semi-finals. The last place will be decided between the #1 seed, Shalin Zulkifli of Malaysia, and the defending champion, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach. Ryan-Ciach is 1 game ahead in this best-of-3 match. Your commentary from Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
This is the 9th frame. She has the possibility to shut out Kerrie Ryan-Ciach. She must spare, then strike. Easy spare, takes that one away.
She's done the first part right. Remains to be seen whether Zulkifli will be dancing her way through or out of this tournament. Cass, what does she need from this last one? Or if she gets the strike, where does that leave her?
Well, she's gone through the 200 barrier. She really does need to make 2 strikes here. She needs to go 230 if possible. 237 maximum score. But as you can see, Ryan-Ciach can only go 235. So she does need to strike at least the first 2 times in the 10th frame. And to get the second strike, she has to get the first strike.
And if she does that, then Ryan-Ciach can do nothing about it, and we will be going to a decider.
This is the ball to win. Oh, dear, dear. This is the carry contest I've spoken about. She's hit the pocket yet again for another 10-pin. She's certainly got to be asking herself some questions about the angle of entry into the pocket. She's left that 10-pin so many times, and the look of frustration on her face.
So Shalin Zulkifli, the #1 seed coming into this quarter-final stage, is in danger here of going out to the #8 seed, and we've seen this happen on several occasions at the AMF World Cup. That is the way this knockout draw can go.
Gives it the big finger. Thank you very much. She doesn't like 10-pins anymore.
Well, the 10-pin has done her no favours today whatsoever.
She checks the score sheet. A strike will give her 226.
Now, if Shalin can get the strike, then what is left for Kerrie Ryan-Ciach?
She will have to double. As I said a little while ago, it's the first one of these 2 ladies to get 2 strikes in a row in the 10th frame. Shalin has failed to do it. Close as it was, she has failed to make the 2 strikes. And guess which pin she's left up again? 225. Couldn't carry the corner pin.
Funny feeling that 10-pin will be removed by Zulkifli at the end of this match and thrown into the sea.
The game and the match is totally out of her hands. She's done all she can. 2 games below par for this tournament. She's averaged 234. She hasn't made that score at all.
And she is very upset there. She's quite emotional. Back on the chair.
Quite simply, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach has to strike twice. And if she does, she'll earn a bonus ball in the 10th frame, and that could put her through the winner's tape. Must strike situation. There's the first one. And the crowds realised how important that was, and so has the coach. Pressure time on her now, because she needs another one. As good as this shot was, it's not as powerful as Zulkifli, but it's made the pocket, and it's carried all 10.
2/3 of the way down the lane, and Ryan-Ciach knew that was looking good. The crowd confirmed it, and they were really cheering that ball on.
We could actually have a tie here on this game. If she doesn't strike, it will be a tie, 225 each. If she strikes, there'll be 225 each, but she'll have one bonus ball to go, which will certainly be the winning shot.
Well, she surely knows that that is the situation.
Needs 10.
She's got him.
Hits them thin, makes them spin, and that is the winning strike. She has doubled in frame 10, and Shalin Zulkifli is out of the competition, beaten by the Canadian and reigning champion.
Well, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach has had 2 appearances here at the AMF World Cup, and in those 2 appearances she has taken some considerable scalps. Shannon Pluhowsky in last year's final, and with this final delivery she will take down the #1 seed at this quarter-final stage, Shalin Zulkifli of Malaysia.
You'll see the smile on her face. She needs 1 pin. Just keep it on the lane, Kerrie, and you're through to the semi-finals. There it goes. Finishes in grand style, 235.
Well, what a superb match. Had us on the edge of our seats all the way through that one. Kerrie Ryan-Ciach of Canada, the defending champion, comes through a really tough battle against Shalin Zulkifli of Malaysia. 2-0. She goes through to the semi-finals.
And more AMF World Cup action coming up on FS. Welcome back to Singapore and the AMF World Cup here on FSN. We're down to the final 4 in the women's division. The first semi-final features Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA and Lisa Del Rosario of the Philippines. Pluhowsky has won the opening game, and we join the second game in this best-of-3 match. Commentary for the match coming from Cass Edwards and Nick Holland.
For Lisa Del Rosario, the old clock is ticking, and we're not talking biology here. We're talking about her participation in the World Cup. She's running out of time.
Well, she certainly hit to the thin and made him spin that time, and she really needed the strike just to keep her in the match. As you say, Nick, I think she realised that they're running out of frames, and she has to do something now.
Possibly the only thing worse than being a beaten finalist is to be a beaten semi-finalist, as no one remembers them. Tough to come this far, get kicked out of the competition. A wonderfully consistent bowler over the years. Never won this tournament, and that spare, assuming she gets it, will probably mean that she's not going to have a chance to win this year either.
No, you're quite right. Shannon Pluhowsky sitting on 5 in a row, and only 1 spare. And Lisa's got that huge open frame and hasn't been able to cover it, and a spare certainly won't help her. It's the 10 pin in the corner. She should just run this across the lane and hopefully take it out. Oh dear, why is that hooked? And that gives some indication of how dry the lane is. That was her spare ball, and it actually hooked, and it shouldn't have done. She's inside her mark, and that's just going to take off. That is a particularly bad shot from Lisa.
Turn the light out when you leave, Lisa. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, big open frames, not good enough. Almost embarrassed little smile there.
Well, Coach Jerry is standing up at the moment. She thinks it's all over, and it is now.
Yes, I think the crowds realise as well. 6 in a row for Shannon. You've been waiting to get that one in, haven't you, Nick?
For about 5 years.
Crowd were on their feet.
And it is over. There's no way Lisa... There may be some mathematical formula here that keeps Lisa Del Rosario in it, but let's take a reality check here. This one's done.
Yes, I think Shannon's realised that. She now knows how the score stands. Not going to do anything silly. A little bit high through the head pin. Trips the 4 out. Leaves the 6 on its own, and that would be a straightforward spare, one would think. And for Lisa, well, I think it's an early flight back across the South China Sea to the outskirts of Manila. Shannon takes a square away in frame 8, and she knows the game is won.
Yes, no way back for Lisa Del Rosario. Shannon can plan for the final. And I'm sure there's some plotting going on right now already in her coach's mind. But what of Lisa Del Rosario? So consistent, as we say, Cass, but again, frustratingly falling short.
Yeah, she's had a really good year on the Asian bowling circuit, the World Ranking Tour. She's bowled well, scored very high through the qualifying stages of this tournament, but unfortunately has come up short against Shannon Pluhowsky, who is red hot. Another 10 pin left in the corner. It's the same pin that Lisa's just missed on the inside. Will she make some adjustments to take this one away?
Well, it doesn't matter. She can bowl it overarm. She's not going to go. She's not going to win the match. And that just about sums up her semi-final. It started off okay, but it went downhill fast, and Lisa Del Rosario can't get out of there quick enough now.
Coming up next, the second semi-final in the AMF World Cup on FSN.
What's the Locarno?
Locarno is case.
Welcome back to Singapore and the AMF World Cup on FSN. It's semi-final time in the women's division. Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA is already through, and her opponent will be either the defending champion, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach from Canada, or from Puerto Rico, Yosellin Leon. They're level after 2 games. This one is the decider. Your commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Hawley.
It's not over yet. This battle for a place in the women's final is still to be decided, but Yosellin Leon here needs a strike, and this time she gets it. That's 7. Thought about it, but what a difference that could yet make.
There was 39 pins difference going into that frame. Yosellin Leon has just closed that down by some. Pretty fortunate that 7 pins been banged in the corner.
Listen, at this stage of the match, Cass, you'll take luck every time. You need all the help you can get.
Yeah, crunch time for both bowlers.
Well, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach, with a name that sounds like an Olympic event, she'll be hoping for another gold medal here.
And she's
might just help to do it.
She's certainly pushed the boat out with that strike.
It's good that you and I are both rowing in the same direction, isn't it, Cass?
Takes all 10 out in frame 7. The difference stays the same. Who's going to be the first to crack? Kerrie Ryan-Ciach. She's taken a re-rack of the pins. So she's going to take her time getting herself set up for this. This is a very important ball. She'll be looking for the double. And that could be enough to sink Yosellin Leon. Really needs to just keep it in play.
Is this the moment? No, it is not. It's all turned on its head once again. And that looked like a little bit of pressure. She was thinking about that one.
You could almost see on her face as the ball was delivered that it wasn't right, and it's just a matter of what she was going to leave. Well, she's left the 4-6 and the 7-10, the big 4 split. I would suggest that this is going to be an open frame.
It's incredible, isn't it? Bowling is like so many other sports, Cass. You know, you want it to be instinctive. You can see performers when they're thinking about it, something goes wrong, and boy was Kerrie thinking about that shot with disastrous consequences. So we can't crown her a World Cup finalist just yet. Yosellin Leon has been thrown a lifeline. She might have fallen out of that kayak, but she's got a chance to climb back in.
Yeah, she's certainly heading against the tide at the moment. chances back with the girl from the Caribbean. Strike here, and it's almost level again.
And she's got it.
Excellent double, and I think the crowd has realised how close this match is actually getting now. What can I say, 5 pins?
5 pins is officially, voting in the state of Florida, way too close to call. We may have to get some postal pins on this one.
It's just amazing how 2 strikes in a row against an open frame can turn a match around.
But she still trails. There is no celebrating in the Puerto Rican corner. She trails and must get a strike to keep the pressure on. Anything less is no good. That's nice. And now the pressure really is on. Look at this.
3 strikes in a row. Just to what she was looking for, just at the right time. The coach is getting quite excited about it.
She was dead and buried after that second open frame, Cass. How this game has turned around.
She realised it looks a lot better, those last 3 frames, doesn't it?
Coming next, the conclusion of this semi-final on FS. Welcome back to the AMF World Cup on FSN. Will Yosellin Leon of Puerto Rico advance to the final against Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA, or will it be defending champ Kerrie Ryan-Ciach of Canada? We're in the third and deciding game. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Hawley.
That was a most unconvincing hit right on the headpin that could have left another strike. She's wobbling.
It certainly was a nervous shot. Missed her mark, the ball's ridden up high onto the headpin, and she is so fortunate to get away with that. That could have been a big split.
She's all over the place, Cass. Absolutely struggling.
Desperate.
Just got to make sure of this. She has, but my goodness me, isn't she lucky to still be in this?
She certainly is, yeah. It's foundation frame gone. She now steps up for the 10th frame.
Knowing that she's trailing. So it's very simple for Kerrie Ryan-Ciach. 2 strikes. Just to give yourself a fighting chance at this one. If you don't strike on your first one, you're not going to go to the final. It really is that simple. What a comeback from Yosellin Leon, but it has to be said that Kerrie Ryan-Ciach more than threw her a lifeline, she dragged her back in the boat. Must be a strike. And is. Again, not the most convincing, but they all fell.
That was such an important shot to be a strike, it really was, because it's the 10th frame, and it gives her the chance to make 2 strikes and a bonus ball. Oh, she does look nervous, doesn't she? That shot was so important, it could well be the match winner. We know what's going through her mind. So desperate does she need another strike. She's given herself the chance to make the bonus pins.
Is it a strike? Is it going to set up a grandstand finish? Yes, it is. Well, that's really simple. You know, that rules out all the mathematics. Yosellin Leon, whatever Kerrie Ryan-Ciach does now, knows that she will need 2 strikes to book her place in the final. So at least she's come good right at the death here, but has she left it too late, the Canadian?
That double makes such a vast difference, it really does. She earns the bonus ball. She's through the 200 barrier. Not the highest score, but it doesn't matter, it could be a winner. Just needs to make some pins here. Just keep it on the lane. Looking for another strike.
Well, that will have to do. Is it enough?
Leaves 8 pin standing right in the pocket, and a score of 208.
208. It's quite a rally after that terrible little stumble in the middle there when she left 5 and 7 open. And she has her destiny in her hands. She's got 2 strikes for a place in the final. And when she was all over the place just about 10 minutes ago, who'd have believed it? This, though, must be a strike. And it doesn't look good.
Oh dear, a 9 pin right in the pocket. It was a little bit high, and the ball is cut through, right through the 135. I think she's lost the game.
She is out. It's as simple as that. She needed 2 strikes. This isn't enough. It just went a bit high, as you said, Cass, and that 9 on another day would have gone, but not today. And Kerrie Ryan-Ciach has got out of it.
I'm just wondering if Kerrie realises that she's in the final.
Well, I think Yosellin Leon realises she isn't. Well, it was a battling comeback. She regrouped so well. At least she put herself in with a chance of winning, but it's going to haunt her that she had her destiny in her hands in the last frame of the semi-final of the World Cup, and she didn't pull it out.
A total disappointment on her face. That last shot left the 9-pin standing on its own. The ball was too powerful. It should have deflected. The ball should have deflected onto that 9-pin and taken it away, but it didn't. This is just a consolation shot, if there could be such a thing.
Yeah, I don't think there is. That's going to be a tough defeat for Yosellin Leon. But look at it another way. You reach the semi-final of the World Cup. That is no mean achievement. But somehow, against all the odds, when it looked like she was on her way out, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach from Canada has booked herself a 2nd successive World Cup final.
And that's coming next on FSN.
Celebrate power. Celebrate performance. Celebrate exhilaration. It's the annual...
Welcome back to the AMF World Cup on FSN, and this year's final is a rematch of last year's final. The defending champion, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach of Canada, against last year's runner-up, Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Holland.
Needs to find a strike. Too many 9 spares cropping up on her card. And there's another one.
Well, that's pretty unfortunate. It was a nice shot right in the 1-3 pocket. The ball has actually finished so hard in the back end that it's cut through the 1-3-5, and the ball didn't deflect onto the 9-pin.
Cass, I don't like the body language I'm seeing here from Kerrie, you know.
Well, it's a single pin, that's why.
Well, there was a real sort of, oh, not again there. She's got to stay focused and nail these things. And does.
I'm just wondering if you can hear your voice in the commentary box.
I hope not.
I'm sure not.
Don't want that coach of hers coming up here, do we?
Gap opens up to 21 pins. And at this stage of the game, that's quite some gap, with Shannon striking at will almost.
Where have the strikes gone for Kerrie? She needs a strong second leg to force a decider, and at the moment it's not coming. She's sticking around and staying in contact, but needs to find a couple of strikes. Nicely in the pocket and gets one at last.
Yeah, frame 5. Scores have just been checked by some of our amateur scorers there. Nice shot right in the 1-3 pocket, carries all 10. It's just what she needed.
She'll need to double that up. It will also help if Pluhowsky gives her a look. Oh, there's the look.
Dear oh dear. 4-7-10. Right through the head pin. Not what she needed. She was working on 2 strikes in a row, and this one's just snapped up a bit high. It hasn't broken the pins up, and this could well be an open frame. Now comes the spare ball. Needs to chip that 4-pin across to take the 10-pin. That settles just for the 2.
Yes, now things have changed in a hurry. Remember, Ryan-Ciach has a shot at a double, and she was within touching distance, and look how that has changed things already. So Pluhowsky, for the first time in this match, trailing here in the second leg, needs to make sure that she does some damage with this next strike ball. What a rare slip from the young American.
Well, to cover that open frame, she really needs to shoot 2 strikes in a row. And to get the second one, she needs to get the first one, and it's exactly what she does. Well back, more realigned. Can only take it 1 frame at a time. This is a good shot. Right back on line on the left-hand lane. Carries all 10.
For once, Jerry Edwards not smiling there, nor is Shannon.
Well, it's just a little glitch really, but they've got access to see the scores from where they're sitting.
Now, Kerrie Ryan-Ciach with a strike here would give herself every chance of levelling this match. So this is a big ball for her. This is her moment. She's dead on the hit pin and lucky to avoid the split, and leaves herself the single pin 10.
I wonder what she's thinking. She's got to be fed up with these single pins. It's almost a carry contest now. She's a little bit high on the head pin. It was a pocket shot, but she looks so frustrated that these single pins standing up almost every shot now.
Well, I tell you what, Cass, it's a good job that she cured that single pinitis that she was suffering from in the first game, because, as you say, she's had to shoot a few of them here.
Well, it's like spare practice, shooting the corner pins. I'm sure she knows how to take them, but she really doesn't want to leave them as many as this in the World Championship final.
The lead, a slender one for Shannon Pluhowsky after Kerrie Ryan-Ciach failed to convert that strike into a double. But it's too close to call at the moment. 5 pins in it. Nervous times.
Yeah, the lead changing backwards and forwards, ball by ball. That's a good ball for Kerrie Ryan-Ciach. Coach likes it. Low 5, and she takes 10 at last. Breaks the single pin situation at last. But she's certainly going to have to double up on that one.
Yeah, it's become a battle of survival now for Kerrie Ryan-Ciach.
The conclusion coming up next on FSN.
Step onto the field.
Welcome back to the women's final of the AMF World Cup on FSN. This is Shannon Pluhowsky of the USA against the defending champion Kerrie Ryan-Ciach of Canada. Pluhowsky has taken the first game in this best-of-3 match. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Holland.
Oh, hasn't she hit top gear at just the right time, Cass?
Certainly has, yeah. That looks pretty impressive, apart from the little glitch in the middle. But she's covered that with 3 strikes in a row.
Well, it's really simple, Kerrie. If you want to keep your title, this better be a strike.
Yeah, and she knows it as well. Shannon's hot, Kerrie's not.
Ooh, she stayed put. Don't write her off just yet.
Great shot.
But she needs a few more of those.
I'm afraid she does, yeah.
One is not enough.
Yeah, she enjoyed that one.
Still way too close to call this second game. And Ryan-Ciach does have this ability just to stick around, you know. It's got her to a second consecutive World Cup final, which says everything. And another strike here, and she's right in it. Good pocket hit. She was unlucky there.
Oh, cracky. That was almost a strike-must situation. It's left the 10-pin standing in the corner. She's going to have to spare it and then get some more.
Didn't get the luck there. On another day, that 10 would have gone flying, but a lot of pin action, but everything deciding to leave the 10 well alone. So out comes that spare ball. Didn't she miss this 10 on this lane in the first leg? Uh-oh.
She's missed it again, and one would hazard to say that that is the end of Kerrie Ryan-Ciach's challenge for the AMF World Cup 2004. Fantastic showcase of 10-pin bowling, and unfortunately she hasn't helped her cause.
Well, at least she missed it a different way. Last time she hit the gutter, this time she went the other side of it. Either way, it's a sickener.
Hardly any consolation, Nick.
No, and I think everybody knows that this one's now a formality. Didn't quite take off this women's final. That's because Kerrie really needed to be at her very best against a woman that just is so consistent, and the Canadian just not been quite there today.
4 strikes in a row for the American girl. Just about sews it up. Down on one knee, yeah. Body language tells us. She can see the victory tape.
Well, she's virtually at it, isn't she? Frame 10. I think all she's got to do is stay clean, and that's it. I can't do the mathematics as quickly as you, Cass, but I think just about anything goes here, really.
7 strikes so far.
Just in case there was any doubt, that's the end of that. The former champion is champion once again, and revenge is sweet for Shannon Pluhowsky.
8 strikes in any game is going to give you a big total. She's going to be around 230 with this one. And she knows it's all over. She will be the AMF World Cup champion. 2 bonus balls in the 10th frame. Just going to finish it off nicely now. 6 pin left standing off another pocket hit. Generous round of applause from the audience. And this will be her final shot of the tournament. Spare to win. This will be your champion.
And they knew it. Everybody knew it. For the second time in 3 years, Shannon Pluhowsky of Phoenix, Arizona, is Women's World Cup champion.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Our MC almost jumped in there too soon. We've still got 1 frame to play. Kerrie Ryan-Ciach's got to play this one out. That'll be a slap on the wrist for Bernie after that. Even he's human. That's his first mistake in about 20 years of doing this, isn't it?
It was a bit premature, yeah. He obviously got carried away. Kerrie Ryan-Ciach had 10th frame to bowl. She's left a 4 pin, and Nick, it's a single pin.
Oh, don't. Well, listen, whether she gets it or she misses it, let's not hide the fact that you make the World Cup final twice in succession. That's a very special achievement indeed. Oh, no, she's missed it as well. But there you go. It didn't make any difference at all. Revenge for Shannon Pluhowsky. Kerrie Ryan-Ciach defeated this time, missing 4 single pins. That helped enormously. A hug from her coach, Jerry Edwards. And in just a moment, she will receive her champion bowl from AMF Senior Executive John Walker, who is just moving into position now. And what a moment for Shannon Pluhowsky. For the second time in 3 years, AMF World Cup champion.
So Shannon Pluhowsky gets her revenge and makes it 2 wins in 3 years. I'm Mike Carlson. Thanks for watching the AMF World Cup right here on FSN.